what's going on, everyone? Nico here with the Wooden Spoon, and I'm in Little Italy on Hester Street, right?
Yeah, Mulberry and Hester. Yeah.
Mulberry and Hester, and we're in Caffe Napoli, and I'm joined by the owner, Lou Fontana, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So very special episode in Little Italy. I think this my first mobile New York City podcast. Actually, no, I take that back. In Little Italy, this is my first time doing a podcast in Little Italy. But one of the first podcasts I had Johnny Russo. I was in the upper
Johnny
Upper East,
Russo.
Upper East Side.
He comes down a lot.
Yeah, he's shout out to Johnny. But how's it going? How's 2021 been for you?
Somewhat picking up. Picking up.
I know it looks. I mean, it's Friday midday. It's pretty busy in Little Italy.
Yeah. It's nice to see people. Finally, you know. Last year, it was hard for all of us. You know, the mandated. You know.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a little different, I'm sure, running a restaurant in New York City as opposed to anywhere else, in the suburbs or anything like that. So when you guys get shut down, what's going through your mind? Like
a lot of things are going through our minds. I mean, we have employees that have families. We have families.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a mess. You know, I mean, they locked us down basically towards the end of the week on a Thursday, where most restaurants do their inventory, and some of the places had to, either discard the food or take the loss on the money they spent.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, other governments, the mayor's office, they don't understand that. Other agencies, so it's hard for us.
Yeah, and then for me, it's from outside looking in, it's everyone's oh yeah, just switch to takeout. But in New York City, I feel like
switch to takeout. Yeah, that's ridiculous because the expenses that restaurants have, the takeouts aren't going to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense with the rent and all uncontrolled expenses. It was very difficult for everybody. Not just us. We're all in the same boat.
For sure. On an average day, I guess pre-pandemic, I guess on the weekends, how many tables do you sit especially in Little Italy? That's just something I'm interested in now.
Why, the turnover? We'll do.
Yeah, how many tables do you do a day, an average day?
It depends. Maybe anywhere between 50 on the low to 200. 250. Depends how busy we are and how the rollover is.
Yeah, and then you're just going to just zero at the pandemic.
Yeah. I mean, after when the feast starts, the feast helps us. And then San Gennaro helps us a lot. This whole neighborhood. But then once after the holidays, this whole neighborhood is quiet for 4 months.
Yeah.
So we try our best to keep on top of everything and pray that more people come.
Yeah. So this feast is coming back this year, so I've heard.
Yeah.
So that should be fun.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it's fun. I mean, it's hard for
I've never experienced
too.
So this year. I'll make sure I'll be at San Gennaro this year.
Yeah.
I've never even experienced.
Man. No, it's you have to experience it in life. Because there's a lot of history over here. It's going on 96 years. So
it's a lot of years.
Yeah, it's a lot of years, and over 1 million people pass a year from all over the world, all over the country. So
it's insane. So talking about history, tell us the history of kind of Caffe Napoli.
Well, my grandmother started this place in 1972. My uncle Luigi, her brother had it. For my grandmother's brother was here, and it was a pizzeria, and he couldn't do it a lot because he was working on the place, and so she took over. It was an old coffee shop, pastry shop, and then in 1992, she decided to do a restaurant.
So how many years after? So 30 years after? Or you said 1962 or 72?
72.
Okay, 72. So 20 years after.
Yeah, it was a coffee and pastry dessert shop. And my parents worked here their whole life, Me and my brothers and my cousins worked here on the weekends after school. We would come and they would teach us, how to make coffee, pastries, all that stuff.
Any fun memories stand out from back in those days?
Oh, a lot of it was different. It was great. We had a whole family. My grandmother and her brothers used to come in here, and they were old school Italians, from the other side, and they would come and sing, with their guitars, and people would just love it. Customers would love it, you know, and
Very cool.
it was a great experience meeting some actors and actresses, you know. Uh, Wrestlers used to come,
That's
you know, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, and actresses from Cher to Bette Midler, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great experience growing up. You know?
Yeah. It sounds like a blast. I can't even imagine.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you are in like Little Italy. You were in New York City, so it's like,
Yeah, no, it's a
place
lot of
to be.
history over here. You know, people love to come, you know, and yeah, it's just great. It's the heart of New York City, I think. You know, because back then this area was, you know, mostly just restaurants and cafes. You know, New York City was still building up. You know, you had the meatpacking, Chelsea, East Side. You know, they were bad neighborhoods back then, and people would come over here after going out. You know, so this was a hot area back in the '80s, early '90s. You know, and then the neighborhood started. You know, gentrification occurred, and businesses were reopening, and you know, other restaurants, and so it was a little difficult. But more tourists came over here, and everyone was experiencing other places to go to. You know,
for sure.
which is cool.
yeah. So when did you take over the restaurant?
Oh, when did I take over?
Yeah.
I didn't really take over.
Yeah.
You know,
when
I
did
mean,
you start? Like, when did
working?
you start? Yeah, like full time.
Oh, I mean, I would say after high school. I mean, even before high school, I'm here since I'm like 4 years old, 5 years old, learning
Yeah.
and, you know, experiencing, you know, seeing different people, you know.
Yeah.
But full time now, I'm here around 25 years. So
You know, yeah, it's great. I mean, what's it like? Because I can't even imagine, like, just one, like, I know the restaurant industry is insane as it is, but like in New York City, especially, like, we just met and like you're like, yeah, I gotta unload the car. You just went picking up some supplies and whatnot, and then going to find parking. Like,
yeah. I mean, you got to try to be on top of everything, you know, the best you can, you know. So if you could work in the restaurant business, I believe you could do anything, you know, anything you put your heart to, because you know, you meet different people, and with those different people comes like different personalities, you know, and you have to learn how to, you know, cope with it,
yeah,
you know,
deal with multiple personalities.
Right. You know, it's a great experience. You know, you meet people from all over the world. You kind of have like an instinct on how people act.
Yeah, like your emotional intelligence almost. It's
Right,
like you could pick up on like what type of person someone is.
Yeah, not to judge it.
No,
you know,
but yeah, no,
But
definitely.
yeah, you can see how to present yourself in that, you know, in a certain way. You know, in the hospitality business, that's what, you know, we always have to show and give. You know?
I guess COVID aside, what's it like? I guess 25 years ago today. What do you think like some of the biggest changes are in the restaurant industry?
Oh, the biggest changes, I would believe. It's hard to say because every place is different. You know, the rents are different, their expenses are different. But the big changes, you know, the minimum wage. So with the minimum wage going up, fuel, cost of dairy, meat.
Oh, I know. I
everything
saw.
like that.
I'll try to pull up this picture up. I'll try to put it on the podcast when I'm editing. But it said like all of the different things that are like meats up like 40-some%, dairies up like 30%. Like all these expenses are so high, and then like people start to complain when the restaurant raises its prices a little bit. It's like we're just trying to.
Yeah, we have to try to revise our menu. You know, we try to cut costs. You know, but it's hard to do when you know, it's not hard to manage, but you have to change everything according to the times. You know what I mean? Yes, you have to, you know, try to make something to pay for all your bills and payroll and try to make a profit. But in the restaurant industry, if you're the owner, if you see 5% of your gross sales, that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, people don't get it. They see if you're busy, then wow, he's making so much money. They're making, you know, a ton of money, but people really don't understand, you know, the expenses and what it takes to, you know, make it run.
No, I know my dad has this saying like he's business owner his whole life, and it's funny. He's ingrained this in my head since I was little. But he says, I hate when people come up to me and say, "Oh, you're the owner. It must be nice," or something like
Yeah,
that.
they
And
don't. They probably don't understand.
Like
Yeah.
that's the one thing. Like he's
People,
got a temper, but like that's the thing that'll just set him off beyond belief.
You know what? I agree with them 100%. I see, you know, with my family, with my grandmother, uh, they don't understand what it is to run a business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's not every week that you are getting a certain salary. You know, you might not get a salary for 3-4 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's just the way it is down here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I feel like it's pretty universal across the board. I mean, people have their struggles, not depending on, I guess, certain areas or certain, like even personal matters.
Right. Yeah, no. So it is beautiful to, you know, to own a business, but you know, a lot of people don't know the back end of it. You know, with the back offices, the office work, and you know, just to manage and maintain and keep everyone happy the best that we can. You know,
absolutely, for sure. So I see like a lot, like I'm like inspired by like Italian Americans or Italian like entrepreneurs, and I feel like there's like certain correlation between like being Italian American, and being an entrepreneur. Like, do you think there's like anything like that, or
well,
like in the upbringing? Or...
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, you got to always stay hungry. You know, you always got to like try to go get it. You know, if you kind of like born with it, you know, if you have a steady job and you just stop, you don't want to settle. You know, you want to keep growing. You know, there's times that we opened up restaurants in the past that didn't make it. You know, it was hard. So you know, we don't look at it as like, all right, we failed. You know, we failed forward. You know, you got to keep growing. You know what I mean? This can't only be the only thing you want to do. You got to progress in life, and you know, with progression comes happiness.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. So I guess we just saw like your grandmother like opening like. What did she like? Did she have any certain like entrepreneurial traits or like anything that you
actually, you know, she was born here, raised in Italy, in Naples, and they had it very hard back then. You know, so they would come across, you know, whatever they had in their kitchen to make for dinner or whatever to eat because they were kind of in like a survival mode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, after the war and their family came from poverty and they would create dishes like peasant food and
what are like delicacies now?
Like pasta padano, like pasta and potatoes, anything like meatballs, and they would just put everything together and create it, you know. And I believe that with that, you know, thinking about the past, you know, would never want you to go back then. So you're trying your hardest to make it, you know, and make it here.
Keep progressing.
Right. Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's really, I'm sure that was like just a great experience just seeing like something like this built from pretty much the ground up.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, listen, it was an experience, you know, the place made it, the place didn't make it, you know, it was a back and forth. You know what I mean? So there was people here that aren't here anymore because of situations that occurred. You know what I mean? But we're just trying to keep it moving. You know, keep it going. You know.
What's your favorite part of the restaurant business? What's like your favorite thing to do?
Me, serving people and making people happy. You know, that's what I love to do. You know, enjoying seeing customers coming back and, you know, letting us know how much they love it. You know, I'm getting emails from across the country or the world saying how much they love it here. That, you know, their favorite food, that we should open up in like, I don't know, Colorado, Idaho, one of these places. So it makes you feel good. You know what I mean? Sure. You're like, wow, like, you know, it's a good feeling.
I bet. Yeah, I bet. And you like, what's your favorite, like when you sit down to eat here, what do you order?
Sometimes I'll order the simplest thing, you know, like eggplant parmesan or, you know, a little pasta salad with a chicken cutlet, you know. That's how, you know.
Chicken Milanese.
You know. It's simple. You know, I'm simple, you know. I'm not a big lobster eater, so I won't have. Sometimes I'll order like.
I know we were here with Marco and a couple of the
Marco's great. Yeah.
TikTok people. We had the lobster ravioli, and it was
Yeah, he loved
so
that.
good. It was so good.
Yeah. You guys like that, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
cool.
of course. So, what are you looking forward to for the rest of 2021? Obviously, the feast in September.
Yeah, we're looking forward for the feast, but we still don't know what the restrictions. You know what I mean? We don't know tomorrow. They can announce on the news that we're gonna, lock down. They're already talking about wearing the masks again. You know what I mean? So I'm excited, but I'm not as excited as I used to be yet.
Yeah, I'm
excited
on the side of caution.
Right. Because there's still regulations that have to be in place. Most of the restaurants here are, taking up the space where the vendors and the booths used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's got to be hard for the vendors coming in
The
too.
vendors are probably not as many spots.
Yeah, so
people were telling me to put up a booth, and I was like, I don't know about that.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll still get tourists, but people still might be frightened because of the vaccinations and whatever's mandated in New York State now.
We'll see.
Difficult, but I am looking forward to it. I every year since I'm a kid, like I love the Feast of San Gennaro. But it's in honor of him. It's in honor of San Gennaro. So you can't forget that.
Awesome. Yeah, well, Lou, thanks so much for taking time out to talk to me.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, hopefully maybe just grab a bite to eat.
Yeah.
And then head out. But so thanks. Where can everybody follow Caffe Napoli? Obviously, we're in Little Italy, Hester Mulberry.
On Instagram, Caffe Napoli NYC.
Awesome.
So.
Awesome. So yeah, anybody in the Little Italy area or when you're coming to visit, got to stop down at Caffe Napoli.
Yeah. Anytime.
Awesome. Everybody else listening, thank you so much for listening. Be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to, and we'll see you in the next episode. Ciao.